Hey everybody, welcome on back to the asylum. Today we're going to be working on the Massimo cargo trike by Jinping. If you got one of these electric trikes, you may wish to follow along. I'm attempting to get a little better ride out of it, a little more speed. We're going to take off this wimpy looking little 4x12 tire, and we're going to replace it with this thing. Sure makes a difference. Looks good. Fills it up. It's a lot bigger. I never thought I'd use the phrase 165, 60 R13 and a big meaty rubber in the same sentence. But hey, compared to this thing that was on it, which is barely an acceptable low-speed trailer tire, that looks fantastic. Stick around and I'll show you all about it. And hopefully we'll gain a couple miles an hour out of it too. If I get under the axle. Alright, going up. Now, whether or not yours even has hubcaps on it depends on the manufacturer. Mine does. There are these neat looking little plastic things here. And I got this. Get a hold of it, pop it right off. The factory wheels on this thing are they're completely hub centric. They don't even use standard lug nuts. They use a nut with a lock washer. And they have a factory fit around the hub for their lining up. There you go. Let's compare it to what we're replacing it with. How about that? That should make quite a difference. The top speed of this thing is limited by a combination of the maximum RPM of the motor and the circumference of the wheel. Putting on a larger diameter wheel and turning the engine, well, it ain't got an engine, it's got a motor. Turning a motor at the same output should, in theory, according to my calculations, yield about 3 more miles per hour on top end. We shall see. Let's roll this one over here and stick it in place. I took a lot of measurements, got the back space. This is a 13x6 Bassett racing wheel with a 4x100 millimeter bolt pattern. The hole in the center here is 63 millimeters, so it's big enough to go on these. And these are not hub-centric wheels, these are lug-centric. And I said, be careful. I'm not supposed to be lifting over 2 pounds with my bad arm. Now it's entirely possible I may have to modify the bed to get these to fit underneath it. I don't know, we'll see after I get them on and get it let down. Now you cannot use standard lug nuts with these. These take a special lug nut. And none of the vendors that had the wheels, because these are actually circle track racing wheels, so none of the vendors that had them had the right size metric lug nut in stock. which in the case of mine is an M14 by 1.5. However, I was able to call Bassett Wheels directly and order a set. I'm just going to spin this up for right now, and then I will come back with a torque wrench and tighten them up. They recommend a torque spec of 85 pounds. I'm curious to see if my hubcaps will fit on, even if they won't fit on with these lug nuts. But hey, that would work. Probably what I'll do is 3D print a replica, but make the inner parts the right size. But for now, that's good enough. We'll set it on the ground and see if it fits and see if it clears. Alright, now we got the wheels, nuts tightened. Nothing like better than good tight nuts. We need to have a look around and check all our clearances. I think we're actually in pretty good shape under here. I'll try to rock it. I'm unable to rock it enough to make it actually hit. Well, I'm sure a hard enough bump could do it. But if worst comes to worst, I can always take the bed off and modify the hinge and the stops to raise it up a little bit. And I may do that. We've got plenty of clearance between these fenders, they just need to be wider. Hey, there's some rubber under the back of this thing now. It still ain't a plump meaty ass yet, but there's no telling what might happen to it in the future. Okay, got the new wheels and tires on the back of this thing. We're getting ready to take it out on the road and see if this has any effect on the performance or not. See how it does. Okay, we're going for a ride now. Going out, let me turn the headlights on. Motorcycles have to run the headlights. Heading uphill, but nothing major. If you'll go back and watch my original review video where I checked the top speed of this thing, the fastest it got to was an indicated 25 on the speedometer. So I may not get what I hoped out of it, but if nothing else, it sure looks better. Of course, the ride is a little bit smoother now. As one advantage to having the bigger tires on it. Of course, there's a serious error on the speedometer, which I knew there was, but the speedometer on the dash is the one that I was going by. I do have this one over here that tells my actual speed. Like I said, the manufacturer, at the beginning, the manufacturer only ever promised 19 miles an hour with it. Hey, there's fresh pavement down this street. How about that? Well, I'm a little disappointed that the tires, the increase in tire size didn't really help with the speed as much as I had hoped. But at least it looks better, and the ride is actually much smoother, and the brakes work better having the larger tires on the back. Well, that was a good ride for this evening. I was hoping the larger tires would have helped this top speed more than they did, but it still picked up about 1.5 miles an hour, 2 going downhill. Might not seem like much, but on something as slow as this, every little bit helps. One side effect I did definitely notice is that the ride got a lot smoother, and the brakes work better. So that's an improvement. It was actually capable of skidding the little skinny 12-inch wheels. It's not capable of doing that with these, but it will slow down better. So I guess I'm happy enough with this modification. And the wheels look good too. I think what I'm going to have to do here is take the front wheel off and paint it black and put some red stripes on it. Why not? Let me know in the comments if you want me to do a video on that, or you think that would just be too boring. If anything, I'll still show you how it looks in a short or something. But that's it for today. Y'all keep riding, keep wrenching, and always stay crazy.